Western medicine and the pharmaceuticals it relies on completely fails when it comes to tackling chronic illness. Whatever your condition, if it's not immediately life-threatening or acute requiring hospitalization, it's better tackled using functional medicine. Now, I love other modalities too, like homeopathy, traditional Chinese medicine, even energy medicine. They all work with the body rather than against it by suppressing symptoms. But in this video, I want to talk specifically about functional medicine, which is most often practiced by MDs who have recognized that their basic medical school training was helping nobody but Big Pharma get wealthier. I'm going to use some slides from one of the courses that I teach, and it's also available online on demand. Just go to my website to see that. But so many people have heard about functional medicine, but don't really understand what it is, or maybe they have a limited understanding. So I'm going to get into a bit more detail. All right, let me pull up the slides here. Okay, so first a summary of how functional medicine on the right here in green compares to conventional medicine in blue. I talk about the shifting paradigm in healthcare, and particularly employer-sponsored programs, as a way to reduce healthcare costs and make people healthier, rather than the continual degradation in health we're seeing in the current conventional model. So the plan on the left is a disease-centered health plan, whereas on the right, we're focused on a health-centered wellness program as the primary benefit. So wellness first, because functional medicine is always trying to restore health and wellness rather than just manage symptoms. So the conventional approach on the left there focuses on symptoms and biomarkers. We're just going row by row here, as does the functional approach on the right, but it's also looking at lifestyle and day-to-day functioning as well. The conventional approach relies on the early detection of disease, whereas the functional approach focuses on prevention, which is actually prevention and reversal, as reversing a current disease state is actually preventative for other future diseases later. So on the left, it's all about diagnoses and labels, which are useful for statistics, but doesn't really help you as the individual to get well. Under the functional approach, we're looking at the underlying cause of disease. We don't really worry about assigning a label, so whether it's just a constellation of early symptoms, or you've been seeing a series of doctors who have already assigned a label with the associated diagnostic code for billing purposes, of course, it doesn't really matter. The conventional approach is all about the standard of care, one size fits all. So small sidebar here, did you know the standard of care is really just taking a series of symptoms, assigns a label, and then opens up a single course of treatment that usually involves pharmaceuticals and surgery. It's all just a legal construct. If something goes wrong, and we're all human beings, both the patient and the doctor, our bodies are very complex, things go wrong, but if the doctor is sued and they can prove that they followed the standard of care, whether or not they felt it was appropriate in the moment, if they followed the standard of care, they're legally not liable. But if a doctor used their judgment, treated the patient as an individual and deviated from the standard of care, and something went wrong, even though nobody's negligent, might have just been one of those things, well, then they're on their own liability-wise. So under a functional approach on the right, there is no standard of care. You treat it as an individual, and a wide variety of modalities are considered, including nutrition issues, supplements to address nutrient deficiencies, which are the cause of so much ill health, lifestyle change, which can make a massive difference in a short time. Pharmaceuticals are an absolute last resort. And then lastly, the conventional approach is basically disease management, whereas a functional approach is health improvement through symptom reversal. All right, so let's try and define functional medicine a bit clearer for you. So functional medicine focuses on the fundamental underlying factors that influence each patient's experience of health and disease. It addresses the whole person and not just an isolated set of symptoms. So a functional medicine practitioner will look at lots of different factors, including environmental inputs, so the quality of the food that you're eating, the air you're breathing, the water you're drinking, your level of physical activity, any toxic exposures or traumas you've experienced, not just recently, but in even the distant past, that may be affecting your health and well-being today. mind-body connections, psychological, spiritual and social factors can all have a major impact on your health. A functional medicine practitioner will see your health in terms of the whole person and not just your physical symptoms. And then your genetic makeup. So while your DNA may make you more susceptible to certain diseases, your genes are not an unchanging blueprint for your life. Your genes are influenced by your environment, as well as your experiences, your attitudes and beliefs. We call this epigenetics, and it's possible to change the way that genes are activated and expressed. Functional medicine practitioners take all this into account. So by digging into all these factors, a functional medicine doctor can identify which individual bodily processes are affected. So how your body rids itself of toxins. If your detoxification system is not working properly, that might be an area to prioritize, for example. Regulation of hormones and neurotransmitters, the two types of messengers in the body. Immune system function. So what we call your immune system actually consists of a whole orchestra of different organs and tissues in your body. Your tonsils and thymus in your neck, your spleen, your bone marrow, where different types of blood cells are created, your lymph nodes, and of course your gut and its microbiome. How well are they all working together is one part tripping up. Inflammatory response. So some inflammation is good, of course. If you sprain your ankle, you want various blood cells flocking there with extra nutrients to help repair it. That's some of the swelling. But it's when we can't switch off inflammation that it becomes a problem. Digestion and absorption of nutrients. You can be eating really clean, but if your gut is compromised, you're not absorbing the nutrients that you're eating. Structural integrity. Your musculoskeletal system is doing a lot more than holding you up, so there's a lot of aspects there that they're going to look at. Psychological and spiritual balance, very important, and how you produce energy. If your mitochondria in your cells are struggling to make energy, it's going to compromise every other process in your body. So functional medicine involves a lot of information gathering to start with. The initial appointment might run an hour or more. You'll be getting a really expansive set of blood tests. You might even get an at-home kit to check, for example, a stool sample, so they can monitor your microbiome. Cortisol levels throughout the day. You might have to take that at home, little tests throughout the day. It's much more than the conventional blood tests you might be used to. They can also test for things like mold, food sensitivities, broader inflammatory markers and things like that. But then you're going to get an individualized treatment plan. There's no such thing as the standard of care, as I mentioned. It's entirely personalized. The functional medicine clinician has an expanded tool set that they're using. Pharmaceuticals are an absolute last resort. So if you show up and you've been on some pharmaceuticals already, they're going to work to get you off them as quickly as possible in most cases. The focus is more botanical medicines and nutritional supplements that are going to work with the body. Therapeutic diets, again, one size doesn't fit all. So all those different diets you hear people talking about, some are going to be helpful, some aren't. No one diet is going to work for everybody. In functional medicine, it's going to be assessing your particular needs. If your biggest issue is toxins, maybe heavy metals, mold, parasites, or a poorly working liver, they're going to focus on those aspects first. You need to get your detoxification processes working really well and fix the gut before anything else is going to improve. And as I said, drugs are going to be a last resort and only for a really short time to meet specific needs while addressing a particular system repair, for example. Most functional medicine doctors are going to offer coaching or counselling on some of the lifestyle factors, exercise, stress management, things like that. And the number one most noticeable difference is that the patient is considered a partner with the functional clinician. A conventional doctor typically doesn't want to hear what you read on the internet or what your friend said. If you come in telling them that you cut out gluten and your pain level is much better, they don't care. If you're a cancer patient of a conventional physician and you ask about whether you should change your diet to be more healthy, they'll typically scoff at you and just tell you to eat comfort foods to help with the road ahead. It's really horrifying. What you're eating is typically a huge factor in why you wound up with cancer in the first place. With a functional medicine doctor, they know that you live in your body 24/7 and you're hopefully growing to understand better what your own body needs. They see health as a partnership between the patient and the doctor. So if you're using functional medicine already, that's fantastic. Hopefully you're getting all of these great benefits from it, and if not, you can certainly push back, ask questions. Asking questions is really beneficial, so you must do that. But if you're not already using functional medicine, I'd encourage you to take a bit of time wandering around the website of the Institute of Functional Medicine. That's ifm.org. They have great information on there for both patients and practitioners. They do training. They encourage conventional MDs to retrain with them. They also have a training path for conventional dietitians who might be stuck in the old mode of calories and macros, and instead become a functional nutritionist and really understand how food is medicine. They also teach conventional nurses to become practitioners and coaches. And then on the right there, you'll see that part of the website enables you to search by health topic and see what a typical functional medicine approach is going to look like for different conditions. It should help you to understand that functional medicine is actually the right approach for any health condition that's not an emergency or an acute episode needing immediate hospitalization or urgent care. So I hope you found that overview of functional medicine useful. It's also called root cause medicine to give patients a better understanding of what it's actually doing compared to conventional medicine, which is just managing symptoms, as we've said. If you can't find a functional medicine doctor in your area, you could also check out a number of wonderful startup companies that are now offering a form of functional medicine marketed simply as disease reversal. And taking patients directly using telehealth, so virtual appointments, and apps. They include apps to track how you're doing and your exercise and supplement routine. The prices are incredibly reasonable for the care that you're getting, particularly because they're going to restore health and get you off any pharmaceuticals and further reduce any future medical needs. So some of them are going to be covered by insurance, but many are not. But the return on your investment will be huge. If you pay out of pocket for functional medicine services, it'll quite simply change your life. So I'll put the names of a few of these great companies in the video notes. Until next time.